What's up, everybody? How are you doing? Tell me how you are in the comments. What videos are you guys liking right now? I know that there's, I put out the Airsoft video with my Knights of Osiris team last week, and I also had a couple other demo videos and tutorial videos and stuff like that I just put out. Let me know what you guys like. I know that everybody thinks that the short movies are getting pretty popular up there. I know I have a couple hundred views on a couple of them so far, so I'm very excited about that. I appreciate all the new subscribers. Thank you guys for being here and enjoying the content and hitting that like button, doing a comment, and subscribing, because it helps the algorithm and makes me more popular, so that way more people can maybe see some of the stuff that I end up talking about. Whether you're having to do with framing or lighting or coloration or anything like that. I'm actually going to have some people featured on here soon that will actually be able to talk more about some of the things that I'm not good at. You know, I might be not good at lighting because as you can see, there's a shadow right there. Or maybe something having to do with coloration. Maybe I'm too blue or anything like that. I got people planning on showing up in order to help out and kind of explain things better for you guys. And then we can apply them to the short movies that you guys seem to enjoy very much. So thank you. I really appreciate it. Let's get into this video. Who am I and what do I have in terms of qualifications to talk about anything that I'm doing, or even looking at anything that I'm doing? What gives me the right? So back in high school, I did a lot of theater. I was very much a theater kid. It was just something that I did. I did theater from about junior high school up until, actually, I went all the way through college with acting. I did it for about 7 years. In doing so, I really found a passion for being someone else, for doing something or creating an imagery for somebody that I was not. And it actually really was challenging for me. From that point on, I actually did music. My dad was very much in the music industry, and so I got into music as well. I actually got to drum and play guitar and bass for my church, and I actually met my girlfriend's dad through this. I ended up playing drums and bass and guitar for the church and grew in the congregation and in my skills. And my mom, she was always very creative. She would always come up with very creative arts and crafts and stuff like that in order to get us engaged and do things that were a little bit outside of the box, whether it was something that came from a school project and she just kind of went above and beyond with it, or maybe it was something that later on in life, towards the end of high school, she got really into Pinterest and stuff and ended up finding up really cool things that we could do as a family together to help us be more creative. That was definitely something that my mom was really into, and it actually, with the music and with the acting and her creativeness, it all kind of blended together to help me be very creative in even film and my sets and my writing and all that good stuff. And through all of that, I was raised Christian. I've always been a Christian, and then I kind of gave and devoted myself to God right around high school and college, because I started to notice a shift in who I was, and I actually got to be who I wanted to be. And that's part of the reason that I actually did go to college. The college I went to was called Cal State Dominguez Hills. It's up in LA in Carson, right next to Compton. And I ended up getting a degree in TV, media, and film. And that was the thing that I really wanted to do. It started out as communications, just as a media major, and then they shifted over to this TV, media, film thing, and I was just so enthralled by the idea of being in film. My goal was to be an actor. I wanted to be an actor very badly, and I wanted to do anything that I could in order to know what the director wanted to see. So I went out and I was like, if I get a degree in it, if I know everything that the director wants to see, I'll be set. I know exactly what the director wants, so I can do it. Ta-da! Now, when I graduated in 4 years. I made it a goal of mine to be able to get in and out of there. And that actually took going to some community college classes as well for a semester or two, because I wanted to make sure that I could progress as fast as possible. I wanted to get in and out with everything that I knew. I progressed in English classes, I progressed in my TV, media, film classes, and I just enjoyed all of it. So script writing came really easy to me, and I know that some of the scripts seem a little bit bulky.
There's 3 guys out there. They've been hunting me for days. They want what I have.
What exactly do you have?
And when I first started getting my degree, that's when A Time to Be Alive and Dark to the Mind came out. We were just kind of applying what we knew at the time. And then my scripts, as they started to progress, they got a lot better, a lot more aggressive. Now, there are some things that I can't do. I can't do giant robot fights. I can't do anything that has to do with medieval times, because I don't have the money for any of the armor or anything like that. But I still wanted to be able to be creative with what I had. So the easy thing to go to was action stuff. I could just animate around guns. I could do stuff in my backyard. So that's what we started to do as a team. We started to just get really creative with all of the things in my backyard that we could, having to do with airsoft guns, Nerf guns even. It was all, we kind of got really creative with some of the stuff. None of it really did get posted. Some of it did, but as for right now, everything from this point on has been created after I got out of college. In college as well, what I got to be able to do was apply everything that I was learning, but I didn't do it through my classes. I actually ended up getting involved in the news as an extracurricular activity. The news on my campus was actually called Bulletin TV. I was the editor for all of that video. I would do some of the filming and some of the audio work, and then I would just edit it all together and blend it. And so I got to create visuals, I got to create imageries and put stuff together and make the whole piece one giant news article. And sometimes the article itself would be 15 minutes, but it would take me hours to be able to do. But it really did test how my synchronizing of audio and video would go. It would test how I'd be able to work with individuals and stories and news articles and find assets and pieces from the college in order to be able to give the whole story and be creative and show what news could be in terms of how I wanted to interpret it. And then I would send it off to my director, and her name was Kaylee Calder, she is now Kaylee Meyer. She would take all of the video and audio and look at it. She would take a look, tell me, okay, this looks good, this needs to be edited, and send it back to me. And then I would go through, do the final touches, and then we put it out. In terms of audio, I've actually done audio for about the same time that I did the news. I met this guy in college named AJM. His name was Austin, and he ended up doing a lot of rap and stuff like that. And I worked with him through a lot of his music, and he taught me a lot. He taught me a lot about compression and audio mixing and mastering and recording and stuff like that. And I ended up finding a drive for it. And then my dad and I had a new thing to talk about because that's what he did for a living for most of his life. He ended up doing audio and video for finding a passion for it and working in a studio and doing all of these amazing things that I wanted to be able to do, but I didn't know where to start. And then when I met Austin, it all just kind of took off, and I was able to actually find something in common with my dad in terms of audio to be able to say, hey, help me learn all this. So after I learned everything that I could from Austin, I moved on to the next source. I went to go find anything else that would help me with audio and video, and I ended up working with bands, I ended up doing music videos with people, and it just kind of took off from there. I ended up doing commercials with 9 Rounds. I did one commercial for them, and there were certain conflicts because I used copyrighted music and all that stuff, and obviously I didn't have permission from anybody to use the copyrighted music, and they liked what I was doing, and then I ended up moving out of college, so there went that, because that was a LA thing. So with 9 Rounds, I was actually able to do a lot of very creative things in terms of picking what shots I wanted to do, or the music, which was copyrighted, so I couldn't really use it, but it was still very cool. 9 Rounds was actually the first commercial that I actually did, but it was the only commercial that I was able to do up in LA because I moved. I graduated. In that 4 years, I met my goal. And then around the same point, I ended up actually joining a band. The band was called Hollow Stage, and I ended up being able to be the vocalist. I was always into metal because it was something that me and my sister and my older brother all could enjoy together. As weird as it is, we all enjoyed metal. And so I wanted to be a vocalist because I enjoyed the idea of being in stage and being up front. And then finally my dream was realized. I was able to be up front and a vocalist, and I actually even got to play at the House of Blues, which was a miracle for me. I never thought I would reach that point because it seemed like such a pinnacle for me. And I did. I finally was able to play at the House of Blues, and it was amazing. It was a great time. It was a great set. Everybody enjoyed themselves. It was a small group of people that actually came, but it was incredible. It was such a rush, and it was so much fun. And then later, I ended up producing an album for a guy named Cameron, and he ended up being able to play at the House of Blues as well, and I was his DJ live, and then we actually got to do a song together as well. And that, again, was a great time. It was so much fun because it was another show that we could play at the House of Blues. That's what I thought was like the pinnacle of my career, was being able to play at the House of Blues. As for music at this point, I'm in a band as a vocalist called Kingdom Bringer, and then I'm also the bassist of a band called Black Cast. And both bands are very, very into the metal scene and post-hardcore and stuff, and that's where we are. And that's where I am musically right now. I'm part of Black Cast and Kingdom Bringer. In terms of the things that I've actually been able to do and produce, I've filmed 2 rap videos for Voth the Artist, and I've produced a music video for a band called Dead End Pacific. Dead End Pacific is a very cool rock band from San Diego, and Voth the Artist is a San Diego artist as well, and he's moving up the ranks in great lengths. I've worked with companies like Riot Scene. I'm now part of a company called Fun City Sound, which is my dad's company for audio and video. And then I've also helped with some other individual companies as well. And through Fun City, I've actually worked with producing audio live for bands, such as I've actually done some video for Halo Effect. I've done some videos with The Unsung. I've done some videos with Blackcast 2. And so I've been able to expand in all sorts of directions and be able to do film and audio all over the place. In terms of commercials, I've been able to do stuff for True Wellness, High Tech Mobile, and also I've done the 9 Rounds commercial as well. And I've worked with some stuff with my church in order to get some video production done there. So I am still continuing on those routes. I enjoy music, I enjoy videos, and then also all of the short movies that I've worked on. I've worked on a short movie called The Carpenter. I worked on, obviously, the short movies that I'm putting out now. I have another short movie coming out on April 12th called The Loose End. It's directed by the same Cameron Mitchell that played at the House of Blues. And he's the same one who ended up writing the script for Dark of the Mind. I'm excited because I put a whole bunch of new effects into it, and I even filmed in the dark for the whole thing, which was something that I had never done before. I've never filmed at night before, and I got to test out new lights, I got to test out new systems, so have some grace a little bit with it because it's something that I haven't really been creative in before, and it's something that I wanted to try out and see how it would come out, and then show all you guys what I was able to learn and find out from this experience. So thank you guys for watching this video. I really appreciate you guys taking the time in order to figure out or listen to who I am and my giant rant about where I've come from. Thank you for spending time and clicking that subscribe button if you haven't already, but you want to see more short movies, you want to see more creative things that I'm up to and demos and tutorials, go ahead and hit subscribe because I'm going to try and put them out every week. I got a short movie coming out, I got a couple more demo videos. I'm actually going to be working with one of my buddies named Pixel, and he's going to end up doing a takeover very soon. So keep an eye out for all that stuff. I hope everybody has a blessed day. I will see you next time.